Welcome back. In our national headlines this morning, we are learning more about a deadly helicopter crash in New York City. Witnesses say it reminded them of 9/11 as smoke poured from a skyscraper after the chopper crashed on the roof yesterday. And as ABC's Kenneth Moten now reports, investigators are trying to determine why the pilot was flying in restricted airspace just blocks from Trump Tower.
This morning, the search for answers after this deadly helicopter crash in Manhattan, not far from Times Square in restricted airspace. The chopper crashed into a skyscraper, erupting into flames at the top of the 54-story building.
We felt the building shake. I thought a plane hit the building.
New video shows a helicopter flying erratically in the area. Officials have not confirmed whether this was the doomed flight, but the crash came just minutes later, killing the pilot, the only one on board.
Only way I can describe it is like someone standing next to you and they give you a hard shove.
Debris, including this chunk of the chopper, rained down onto the street below. This is all that's left of the wreckage on the roof. A senior FAA official says there's no indication this was terrorism related.
If you're a New Yorker, you have a level of PTSD, right, from 9/11. So as soon as you hear an aircraft hit a building, I think my mind goes where every New Yorker's mind goes.
Heavy rain and fog reduced visibility at the time. The veteran pilot, 58-year-old Timothy McCormack, talked to our New York station back in 2014 after narrowly escaping an accident when his helicopter was hit by a bird. Helipads are not allowed on buildings in Manhattan because of safety precautions after this chopper crashed on the Pan Am building in 1977. Airspace has also been restricted since President Trump was elected because of his home at Trump Tower. Investigators say McCormack never communicated with air traffic control, which is required in that area. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, New York.
There have been several incidents over the years with small aircraft hitting skyscrapers in Manhattan. This includes one in 1977 where a helicopter crashed on the roof of a building, killing 5 people, and one in 2006 where a plane hit a residential building, killing a former New York Yankees player. Well, 3 former Fair Oaks workers are now charged in an animal cruelty investigation at the Fair Oaks Farms in Indiana. The charges came after an animal rights group released a secretly recorded video showing employees beating and kicking calves. Officers are continuing to interview other persons of interest. Fair Oaks farm leaders say 5 people in the video were identified. 4 of them are employees at the farm. The 5th person is a truck driver who works for a third party. Meanwhile, in Chicago, animal rights activists calling for a nationwide boycott of Coca-Cola over its association with Fair Oaks Farms. Fair Oaks is a supplier of Fairlife milk products, which is distributed by Coke. Coke issued a statement last week saying, quote, "We take animal welfare very seriously. We expect our suppliers to operate with the highest degree of integrity and comply with all laws, including animal welfare laws," end quote. In the statement, Coca-Cola also says Fairlife is working to address the issue with Fair Oaks Farms.
An abortion clinic in Missouri can continue to practice after a judge granted it permission. The judge's ruling allows Reproductive Health Services of Planned Parenthood of the St. Louis region to keep performing abortions while a legal battle unfolds between the clinic and state health leaders. The court ruled that the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services needs to issue a decision on Planned Parenthood's application for renewal of its license no later than June 21st. A status review will also be held on that date. Last month, the clinic sued Missouri's governor and the health department over the state's refusal to renew its license.
In the wake of the passing of the nation's strictest abortion law, Alabama's governor has signed new controversial legislation. This time, it requires chemical castration for child sex offenders. Anyone who commits sex crimes against children under the age of 13 will need to be castrated before being released from prison. Sex offenders will also be required to pay for the medical procedure. The bill states anyone who refuses castration will be held in violation of parole. California could become the first state to offer free health care to illegal immigrants. It would fall under the state's Medicaid program. Nearly 90,000 people could be eligible at a cost of almost $100 million a year. The deal is part of a much larger effort to ensure everyone in the state has access to health care. The legislature is expected to approve the deal this week.
Evacuation orders due to the sand wildfire in California are being lifted and residents can now come back home. As of last night, the fire has burned more than 2,200 acres and is about 50% contained. The fire has burned 7 non-residential structures. It started Saturday afternoon. High winds helped the fire spread. No injuries have been reported.
One earthquake shakes part of the Cleveland, Ohio area.
Take a look at this. It's video from a traffic camera that shows the 4.2 magnitude quake. Officials say no injuries were reported, and a local sheriff's office says they haven't gotten any reports of damage or power outages.
That's crazy to see.
Yeah, they can get some earthquakes, especially northeastern Ohio and up into Pennsylvania. They're right on the edge of the Allegheny Mountains. So.
Interesting. Right at the fault line,
Yep,
maybe?
yep, something had to cause those mountains to form a long time ago.
That'd be scary if we saw that on our traffic cameras.
Guys, looking at our traffic right now, you can see here I put a green arrow. Do you know what that green arrow is pointing to? That's the smooth pavement.
You couldn't just do a straight arrow. You had to make
Well,
it curve.
I figured this would kind of look like a sign, you know, like a
okay.
sign showing a curve. Anywho, here's a look at what we're tracking in the days to come. There will be a couple of showers and thunderstorms coming by this evening, but will drying up by the afternoon tomorrow. So that's a little bit of good news. Most areas seeing about a ½ an inch, then back into a cool pattern. We'll locate the jackets as we head into tomorrow. Here are the showers right now. These are not expected to get in here during the daylight hours today. Rain chances will remain fairly low until we head into tonight. Storm Track 8's got you covered with this. With live Doppler radar and the hour-by-hour forecast, we're putting the technology at your fingertips on the app. Get the alerts if they're issued, but no severe weather is expected in the next 24 hours.